So this week I was asked by somebody if I was a holistic nutritionist, if I knew what holistic was and if that's how I practiced. And my first response was, I'm the queen of holistic nutrition. And I really had to think about what she was meaning by that. And I think what she really meant after talking a little bit further was about food and the nutrition that I would offer to her and recommend to her. And again, queen here. But what I really realized too is that it's so much more than just the food that we're eating, and if it's organic, and if we're eating maybe a specialized diet, vegan, paleo, whatever, right? It's so much more than that. If we're really going to dive into the holistic realm, to dive into what is holistic health, it is about what we eat. It's about when we eat. It's about how we eat. I might be eating the best foods on the planet, but if I am driving my car while I'm eating, or if I am working and not taking a little mini break while eating that amazing food, is that holistic? Right? And then what about my other habits? What about my boundaries around my work and my life? What about my time that I give myself for movement and exercise? And how do I prioritize my sleep, right? And if I identify as a night owl, and if somebody talks to me about sleep and I put up a wall of resistance as being a night owl, then is that holistic? Is that holistic in our innate nature? Remembering that we are animals living on a planet with the elements, we are elemental. And if we want to be holistic, we have to honor our circadian rhythm. We have to honor our hormonal system, which I call your own personal team of first responders. And these first responders are there to help to keep our body as much in homeostasis as possible. And we and our habits are either going to make it really hard for our hormones and make them work overtime and double time, or we can make it easy by having habits that honor those hormonal rhythms. And that to me is holistic, because that is looking at the wholeness of our life. Again, it is looking at our sleep patterns, our stress, how we spend our time, how we move our body, right? How we really have discipline, right? Because the more discipline we have, which I know, discipline helps us to have more freedom because we have more health, right? I know for me, when I stay up way too late, which happens every once in a while, I feel kind of wrecked the next day and I feel tired and exhausted. And so I can imagine when we have those habits all the time, there can be a very low grade exhaustion and perhaps even a low grade depression that comes with that. And maybe if we're not getting as much done as a result, there could be a low grade anxiety, right? And then we have hormones that are out of rhythm, namely cortisol. And what happens when cortisol is out of balance is we call that the Pregnanolone Steel, which means our body is going to prioritize cortisol because it is a hormone of survival over our other hormones like DHEA and estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. Especially from the adrenal glands, it's going to prioritize cortisol, and those other ones are going to get pushed off to the side, not made is in the amount that maybe the body is used to making them in. And with higher cortisol, we're also going to crave more sugar, because sugar is what the cells need when they need to fight or flight. And when we have high cortisol, we are in the sympathetic nervous system and we are in fight or flight. So it is all connected. And then if we also have more cortisol, if we don't get that sugar, right? Or if when it's out of balance, we're going to be more catabolic. We're going to be more burning our muscles for fuel, be muscle protein burners versus fat burners. So it's all connected. So when we have these goals of maybe preventing or reversing diabetes, right? Which food and lifestyle can do that. Or if we have any other goals of maybe our bone health, maybe our cognitive health, autoimmunity, right? All of those big things, weight loss. We have to let the body's own personal team of first responders, our hormonal system, find its balance, find its sweet spot, not work overtime, but work with us. We need to work with it. So it's all very connected. So that is holistic health. So again, when I'm asked that question, are you holistic? Damn straight, because I'm going to ask you, and I want all of us to ask ourselves about our sleep, our movement, our balance, right? Our food, our how, what, when, why, where we are eating, right? The attention, the love that we are giving to our own selves, our emotional state. All of that is connected. And all of that is going to add up to be holistic health. So anything that we find that resistance, well, like, I have to work until 10 o'clock at night or midnight o'clock or whatever, or I'm a night owl. I've always been that way. That's how I identify, right? Yes, and you're also an animal. A human being is an animal, and we are going to thrive when we can connect with the environment around us, the earth, the cycles of light and dark, the cycles of winter and summer and spring and fall, right? And make changes accordingly with what we eat, with our sleep patterns, right? With our movement. All of that adds up with our time outside. So even when it's cold, can we bundle up and get out there and breathe in that cold air and let our body feel the season, right? All of that matters. So the more connected we are to our circadian rhythm, to the elements and to the environment around us, outside of us, the more our inner ecosystem is going to thrive. So I hope this is inspiring to think about your health as a whole body, holistic journey versus just what you eat or what somebody else might tell you to eat. Thinking about all of the aspects of your life. And if there's one of the things I said to you that sort of struck a chord, and maybe it annoyed you, maybe it made you think, yeah, that's something I need to focus on, well, then lean into that. Lean into that. Try going to bed 10 minutes earlier, or shutting off your electronics earlier, or, whatever it is, or eating breakfast if food is your struggle and you have a lot of cravings in the afternoon. There's lots of ways that you can get there, but it's also your right to experiment and learn how your body ticks so you can have your best health. All right. That was my riff for today. Thank you for watching. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. I'd love to hear from you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks.